Welcome to the SportsBros Podcast, featuring the Almighty B-Live, the Money Man, Scotty D, and your host, the head of creative, Eddie Cool. And without any further ado, here they are, the SportsBros. What's going on, world? This be your boy, Eddie Cool, and welcome to another action-packed episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. Episode 27. 27 of them things, live and direct, coming to you each and every week, unless we get preempted by hurricanes or travels or things like that. Coming to you each and every week with the Sports Bros Podcast. It's sports the way you want it. It's sports by the fans, for the fans. So I'm going to stop running my mouth. I'm going to introduce my co-host. First off, we got the Almighty B Live.
Did you just say you're going to stop running your mouth? Man, that's what we get paid. No, dog. No, we don't get paid. Hey, pay attention. We haven't got paid for this yet. No, I'm just kidding. This be your boy, the Almighty B Live. I'm here with you. I'm still alive. All the way live. All the way live. Check it out, man. I'm excited. Got a lot to talk about. Me and Eddie Cool going to bring you the facts. We're going to bring you the funny. And then we got this other guy. I don't know. He probably living on cloud 9 right now. We'll talk about his team and other things too. Go ahead, Eddie Cool. Go ahead and introduce him. It's all good.
And as of right now, he has every reason to. And introduce him to the world, the pride of California University at Pennsylvania, the Money Man, Scotty D.
Oh, you two guys, you're so lucky to have me.
Yeah. Back at it.
Lucky to have me to help you out on this edition. And by the way, 2 down, 14 to go for the Cowboys, the undefeated Cowboys.
Here we go.
Hey, I wasn't gonna go there, but you kind of didn't give me any choice there. You kind of set me up for that one. So
I know. It's all right. I'll admit it. They look aight.
Yeah, but
they do.
Okay, we'll get into that. Before we go too much, I want to just too far into it. I want to welcome any of our first-time listeners. We actually had a first-time listener last week that I wanted to acknowledge, and that is Katie Small, and she's a very special person to me because she's my boss. She's the one of the co-owners of Beast Ninja, and you guys hear me talk about Beast Ninja, the obstacle course gym, all the time on this show, and she's a big Patriots fan, so I'm sure she's pretty happy. Yeah, she's one of them. Yeah, and she had some things to say to me this past week about the Antonio Brown section of the show last week that I kind of went off a little bit on. And she expressed to me a counterpoint that if the Patriots hadn't signed Antonio Brown, somebody else would have, and all the NFL players, or a lot of NFL players, probably have some skeleton bad, and they got signed. All valid points. My point this last week was that the whole thing with him doing the on-field tirade with the general manager just made him too hot at the time, and he was rewarded too quickly. Little did I know that right around the corner there was more to come with AB. And we're not going to get too big into it, but we do know he has the sexual assault allegation against him now, and that's a civil thing going in. The NFL is going to do a little bit more investigating on that this week. They're meeting with the young lady, Brittany Taylor, this week to determine what they're going to do about that situation. But, without knowing a whole lot about it, I don't want to say a lot about it, guys, because it sounds right off the bat like it's driven by money.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know. We don't know. It might be bad blood where she's just going after his money, but it's a serious allegation, so you don't want to be dismissive of it. So
that's true.
So with that kind of thing, I think we probably don't need to get too deep into it until we start hearing a little bit more. So let's talk about the fun stuff, boys. Let's talk about what happened in the world of football this past weekend, huh?
No. We'll get to that in just a moment. I'm gonna say my little bit and piece because I appreciate your boss, the co-owner of Beast Ninja. Respect her 100%, and I definitely respect the fact that she listens to us. And she's an avid football fan. But the fact that she's a Patriot fan, she sounds exactly like a Patriot fan because the way if the Patriots didn't pick up Antonio Brown, somebody else would have. Yeah, that sounds like that sounds so just
Patriot-esque.
Oh yes.
Okay, that's what you're looking for.
That was perfect. Are you kidding me? Yes, we know that the guy is talented. We know somebody would have picked him up. But, I mean, it wasn't even a snap of the finger Patriots got him. Snap of the finger, Josh Gordon's back. Snap of the finger, Aaron Hernandez. Oh, did I say? Oh, boy.
He ain't.
Yeah, I mean. And it goes all the way back. You know what? All this behavior comes from the owner of the team, the original member of the penalty box, Robert Kraft. I'm back. You're not off the hook yet with me, sir. You dirty old man. You and your 39-year-old girlfriend. She might be 40 now, as much as I've been talking about.
Well, let me grab this train right now. Let me grab this train.
Hard
we about to go on a classic B Live diatribe, rant, tirade, filibuster. He finna be long-winded, but anyway,
I appreciate it. All right, I'm good.
Let's go ahead and go into week 2 of the week that was and still is the NFL and the National Football League. All right, first of all, that debacle in Charlotte. Tampa Bay narrowly escapes the Carolina Panthers. The score was close. The play calling at the end was highly questionable. I would say throughout the game, but at the end was highly questionable. B-Live, I'm going to let you start first. Go. Just go.
All right. Simply put, I mean, there's a lot you could talk about the game, but I'm just going to stick to this one simple fact. And when you say highly questionable play calling, I'm going to put it like this. The Carolina Panthers offensive coordinator, Norv Turner, 4th and 1, calls, let me see if I get this correct, a reverse wildcat end around fake with Christian McCaffrey. He's otherworldly talented. This guy is a beast. But you have a 6'5", 265-pound quarterback. All he has to do is lean forward. I mean, you know what? He can lean backwards and fart and freaking get that half a yard.
Wow.
So what you're saying is you didn't like the play call.
I apologize again, fellas, because I know you heard the initial rant, but I don't understand. And here's the biggest thing that I want to make a point of. I understand you trying to protect your quarterback and his longevity. And I mean, it's your investment. But that right there, that play right there is why he was drafted number 1 overall. That was the reason why he's a Heisman winner. It's the reason why he was a national champion. It's the reason why there's so much hype around Cameron Newton. And that's the play call you go with in that point of the game. And I don't care what anybody says. It might be just week 2. There's plenty of football left to go. But that right there is a home game that we all need is a division rival, and that's the play call you go with. Christian McCaffrey, keep your head up because he actually owned it. He said it was his fault. Like, they put the ball in his hands, he should have got it. No, that's not your fault. That play call was trash. And if you're really, really trying to protect our beloved quarterback, I get it. But that's what you get paid for, man. That right there, that play, you got to put it all on the line. And North Turner, you failed our entire team, and now we're sitting at 0-2. We got a lot of freaking work to do, but that was terrible. God bless him.
Terrible. I tell you what, didn't have this mess with Mike Shula was going on. What you think about Scotty D?
Yeah, I agree. The play call was atrocious there because it really, I mean, it was given away pretty much with the way Cam walked up to the line of scrimmage and kind of walked down the line of scrimmage. It wasn't going to trick anybody at that point. But
say it again. You know, say it again.
Yeah, you weren't going to trick anybody. But, you know, Tom Brady is at the same time probably the most valuable and least athletic quarterback in the NFL. Yet, how many times have we seen him take a snap and fall forward when the Patriots need 6 inches? And that's all Carolina needed. You know, it wasn't like if Cam falls forward and comes up short of the end zone, he still crosses enough ground to get a first down, right?
Right.
Because it was 4th and 2, right?
It ended up 4th and 1. It less
4th and 1, yeah.
4th and 1, but they could have still picked up a first down and had time to go from there.
And
am I right?
And hell,
yeah.
Even the refs even tried to help the Panthers out with that spot of the ball beforehand. God bless. That was so blatant. I
mean, if Cam Newton at this stage doesn't have it in him to fall forward for a foot, he shouldn't be out on the field. But he played a whole game. He played a whole game. He was out there, and his passing looked bad. But this was not a passing situation. All he does, he falls forward for a foot, or pushes forward for a yard, and you win the game. And now that's 2 games. It was a crucial game because that's the second home game, and you can put 2 X's on there for Carolina. That one hurt. That game definitely hurt.
Yeah, that one definitely sting, man. It's just the first 2 home games of the season, 0-2, and now, you know, Carolina's sitting at the bottom of the division, looking up and just trying to figure out where to go after that. I hope they're not trying to turn Cam Newton into a pocket passer to preserve, you know, his career, because that's not his game. I'm just hoping that this can be a learning experience of what to do and what not do in the situation for North Turner and the Panthers moving forward, because, like, I was 38 hot. I was in this house hot, mad, broke my laundry basket. I'm like, okay, we got a chance to win it, a game that we damn near gave away, and then flat goes the soda.
But Eddie, why does he dress like Thelma and Louise?
Let me.
Man, you know what? I don't.
Give me the mic. Give me the mic. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me.
Here.
I'm sorry. Here's the. I'm gonna tell you this right here. I get this. I get the point of where football players, celebrities, et cetera, they dress down to a T coming to the game. You know, you got the cameras, got the fans. Slap hands. I get it.
Yeah.
All right. After freaking 60 minutes of sweat and tears and fight and everything that you do on the field, you're telling me you don't have a backup bag of T-shirt and freaking I can't even think of it. Like just some sweatpants.
Yeah.
Just to wear. I don't care. Like, I've gone through hell. My body is hurt. I'm sore. I need a small woman to walk on my back because I'm just thinking of what as a professional football player, what you just went through. You're telling me after the game you just lost because of a bad play call, all the scrutiny, everything just going. You take the time to wash your ass and then you didn't comb your hair. You managed to put on a bonnet and freaking the suit. Are you kidding me? You got to be freaking kidding me. He took the time after all of that to put that mess back on.
He put a scarf on.
To put that back on. to get in front of a camera and then
and sulk.
Right.
If we had time to do the penalty box, he'd be in it wearing a Scooby-Doo villain outfit or a Thelma and Louise outfit because he looked bad 2 weeks in a row. Yes.
Hey, there's a meme floating around that Cam Newton's looking like the Whitney Houston from the Bodyguard.
There's a meme floating. There's a meme floating. There's 27,000 memes floating around.
Oh, he was fodder for scrutiny this week, man.
Man.
And I can't say a thing. I am a diehard Cam Newton fan. He has brought so much, we're a $2.5 billion franchise, and because of Cam Newton, I'm telling you straight off the bat, he brought that love, he brought that that spunk, that dab on him. He brought that to the team and made them one of the richest franchises in the league. But bruh, I'm sorry. I hope I'm gonna find a way. He's got to hear this from me. Stop it. Just stop it. I get it. Do you? I still don't know what alien language he uses on Twitter and Instagram or whatever the hell that is. But dude, I'm telling you right now, until we get back to the playoffs and do what we did, I'm not even asking for. We can't even do what we did back in 2015 because we've already lost 2 games. We're 15-1 that year. But until we get that swagger back, for the love of God, if you put on another silly ass outfit, I'm coming for you. I can't do it anymore. We got so much more to talk about. I'm sorry, Eddie. Cool. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Well, it's understandable. It's just you remember what happened last time when the Panthers started 0-2. They wound up finishing the season 12-4, and that was back in 2013. So let's just hope they didn't get their mess together. It's silly suits and all.
Oh, man. Cam Newton, stop it. Do better.
Oh boy, you got hit with a do better hashtag. Speaking of doing better, we got the Chiefs defeating the Raiders, who couldn't do better after losing Antonio Brown. Well, getting rid of Antonio Brown. The Seahawks and the Steelers. The Seahawks go into Heinz Stadium and they take one away from the Steelers, but Big Ben gets hurt in the process. He has a right elbow injury, and sources say they're trying to determine if can we wait a while? Does he have to have surgery? So it's leaning towards surgery, and so his backup comes in, has a serviceable game. But the big story here, fellas, Big Ben, he gets hurt. Where do the Steelers go from here?
Steelers are they're teetering because they. I don't know. You know, they lost 2 games in a row with Big Ben. I don't know enough about the overall makeup of this team to know if they're good enough to right the ship. I know last week I said they were out on the ledge a little bit too soon because they lost to the Patriots on the road, and there's no shame in that. The Patriots are the defending Super Bowl champions playing a primetime home game, and week 1 is always got some sloppiness to it, as we've already discussed.
Mm-hmm.
But if this injury is significant, then the Steelers are going to get a look at their future with Kyle Rudolph, and it could be big changes coming to Pittsburgh. You have to wonder at this point, the fans are calling for Tomlin's head. You have to wonder if this is the beginning of the transition period for the end of an era, if you will, for Tomlin and Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh. I mean, I know it's only 1 game. Maybe the doctors tell him it's a strain and he sits for 2 weeks and they turn it around. I don't know. It's very soon, but it's starting to have the symptoms of big changes in Pittsburgh.
All right, that was Mason Rudolph. I almost called him.
What did I say, Kyle Rudolph?
Yeah, you called him Kyle Rudolph. But I almost.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Don't feel bad. I almost called him. I'm like, last name is Rudolph, but Mason Rudolph. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Mason Rudolph and James Washington, who are current Steelers teammates, they were teammates at the Oklahoma State University. B-Lab, what you think about this whole situation with Big Ben, bum elbow, and the Steelers?
I don't.
Oh,
I don't at all. Honestly, this might sound passive, but the Steelers are literally going through the same. I mean, they got the same situation that the Panthers are going through. But their entire franchise rides on one person.
Yep.
And the tough decision has been made, and now he's hurt, and they got to do a lot of scrambling. And unfortunately, I mean, the Steelers have their franchise is going through hell and back again, because unlike the Panthers, the Steelers have had incredible talent and done nothing with it. I mean, it was a volatile locker room, but now I think you've got talent with Juju and James Conner, but now it's just, what is their identity? They've lost that defensive swagger that they used to have, and now with Big Ben being hurt, it's going to be a rebuilding year, and so it's. I don't know what to tell you.
Looks like the Ravens are poised to take control of that division, and I didn't see that coming.
I did not either. And Lamar Jackson, wow.
Out of this world.
He still didn't deserve to win the Heisman.
Here we go. Heisman heat. Here we go.
See. We're talking about professional football right now, the NFL. And I'm going to talk about it, but I'll talk about it later. Just get the Amtrak. Go ahead, Eddie.
Yeah, we're going to put that Amtrak on here. Hey, man, that'd be a hell of a deal we get from Amtrak, because this is the second time in 2 weeks we've mentioned about putting an Amtrak back on the tracks. Amtrak, if you're listening, holla at your boys. We know you got it. You're making the trains look better. You're making a lot of improvements to your brand. And what better way to have a face of brand than the SportsBros Podcast? Just have our faces slapped on the side going through the mountains of Montana to all over the place. Oh, I'm sorry. Back to the football.
Yeah. You was. I don't know where you was going.
The foreseeable future. I'm looking into the future. I'm looking into my crystal ball. The Rams and the Saints. Woo boy. This turned out to be an absolute doozy as Drew Brees leaves the game with a thumb injury, and it's a possible ligament injury, and he could miss some games. Scotty D, what you think about this whole situation with Drew Brees missing a few games due to a thumb injury?
Yeah, so the game between the Rams and Saints overall, a lot to unpack there. Brees with the injury, him and Roethlisberger, two of the old guys, both getting hurt on the same Sunday. Both similar situations with being who the team is built around, and I hate seeing Brees with that injury, and I hope he's out. It's on the short side rather than being a long-term thing. But again, the referees blew another call in a Rams-Saints game that affected the outcome of the game, because when Brees got injured, they needed a spark, and they got it defensively by scoring a touchdown, and the referees blew the play dead on that fumble / incomplete pass. And I just don't know why they would have done that in this situation when you have replay to fall back on to get the call right. So the Rams now, I picked them last week as the top team in the NFC, and they now having a game up on the Saints and being 2-0. They this could be big, really, as far as the power of balance in the NFC with Brees being out for an extended period of time.
Yeah, B-Live, where you at on this situation with the Rams and the Saints and everything else?
Well, I'm gonna say that this is why I don't practice voodoo like they do in New Orleans, because the voodoo that you do ain't doing what you need to do, because it smells like doo-doo when it comes to the referees and the New Orleans Saints, because and they have to admit the fact that they got that play wrong. When they blew it dead. Are you kidding me? Now, when it comes to Drew Brees, now you look at the mental part of the game, because I mean it's a thumb injury, and it's going to be a few weeks without him, Teddy Bridgewater, he's been waiting for this moment because he went through something very similar. What he missed? He missed an entire year and a half with his injury. So I'm glad to see him back on the field. And everything.
He had a very, very serious and severe knee injury.
So glad to see him back. But I mean, at the same point in time, I mean, the New Orleans Saints, they are Drew Brees. Every sense of it, all the way from Katrina, the Super Bowl win, everything. I got a nasty taste in my mouth because the Saints are division rivals of mine. But I'm talking good about them. All right, I threw up in my mouth. All right, I'm back. All right, cool. Here we go. But yeah, it's going to be a very interesting story when it comes to the NFC South because right now, believe it or not, I just want to add a little spice to it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are tied for the division lead, and they have no reason to even be in this conversation. They're terrible. Jameis Winston is terrible. But on the same note, is crab legs stealing himself. So you see how I go on side notes and tangents.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get it together. The New Orleans Saints, they are Drew Brees. It's gonna be a rough road for them ahead as well. Wish Drew Brees back to health, but then, like I said, the mental part of it. How much more does he continue to push with it? Because he's done it all.
Yep.
He's done it all. This was the year of retribution. Third time's a charm, like I said, because they've had the worst of luck. And now this happens. I don't know. It's still a young season.
Man, if you ask me ever since last year, man, I think you thought the Montreal school job was something? This Crescent City school job, oh boy, it's starting to look more obvious by the week, by the day, by the month, and by the year.
Let me say this real quick. NFL referees, get the whistle out of your mouth. Stop it. Why are you blowing plays dead so quickly? Because that wasn't the only one. I can't remember the game right now, but there was an interception. I can't remember the game where the guy did not touch the ground. He was not down and could have ran it back all the way for a touchdown. I cannot remember the game. I'm going to do a little research in a second. But they blew the play dead, and he wasn't even close to being down, and it was a momentum changer because the referees want to be quick to blow a whistle for no reason. I don't even understand why, like, they would blow a play dead when you got replay to look back at it. Let the play run out. Let it run out. And then if you look back at it and the guy so happens to be down, then you make that decision. But once you blow a play dead, that's it. The play is D-E-D, dead.
He did.
So, I don't know. That's just my 2 cents.
Yep. Yeah, that's some very interesting points, guys, about that Saints game and Rams game. In other games, notable games, the Pats, they stomped the Dolphins. What else is new? And this game marks the debut of one Antonio Brown, who had 4 receptions, 56 yards, and 1 touchdown. I saw that series, and look, the boy, as much as a basket case as he is, the boy ain't missed a beat. He has not missed a beat. Despite all what's going on, there's no doubt the talent is there, but he's just crazy as hell. That's what it is. Did anybody see that game? Anybody?
Not me. I was busy watching the Cowboys and Redskins.
Yeah, of course you were.
We knew that.
You see what? Me, I got the luxury of watching all the games with the NFL Sunday Ticket. At Max Speed Shop here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, 482 North McPherson Church Road, with the best brisket and burgers in the world. Come see me. Holla at me. 57 beers on tap, 200 bottles and cans of beer. Celebrate Oktoberfest. Oh, what? Am I doing too much again? I am. My bad.
You plugging. You good. But yeah. But AB did look good. He did look good despite I call it an abbreviated training camp and everything that he went through. He did look
say
good.
An abbreviated training camp? That's what you call it?
Yeah, so he had an abbreviated training camp between them Hawk claws and the helmet issues and fighting with Mike Mayock and calling him the C word, not going through the walk.
You sound like a guy that watches Judge Springer. That's what you sound like. That you actually believe that Jerry Springer is a judge. That's because abbreviated is not the word for what Antonio Brown did during this training camp. Because that was a full-on soap opera that he produced, directed, and the executive producer was Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft.
So
collusion.
So in wrestling terms, you think this all was a big work?
Oh, absolutely.
One big work.
And shout out to the boss lady at Beast Ninja, but I would love to hear her take on that part. Because if you don't believe that was collusion, if you don't believe there was some tampering involved, and with that contract signing, you are truly a Patriot fan. My bad, Scott. I'm sorry.
Scott don't give a damn about this game. He was watching the Cowboys.
I understand that, but I've been bashing his boss lady a little too much, and I apologize.
Scott, we really want you to keep your job.
Please,
we really want you to keep your job.
She gonna hear this episode like, what in the hell? It's sports talk. It's the almighty be-live banter. I go too far sometimes. I really don't, and I'm not actually apologizing. But
yeah. All right, so moving right along, we got the San Francisco 49ers destroyed the Bengals. The Bears eke one out in Mile High as they beat the Broncos. The Packers beat the Vikings. Texans defeat the Jaguars. The Lions beat the Chargers. And Scotty D's Cowboys defeats the Washington Redskins. Michael Gallup got hurt during that game as well, too, and it's a knee issue, and he should be getting an MRI as well, too. Scott, what were some of the highlights from that game?
Just again, I'm just kind of revisiting last week, the play calling on the offensive side of the ball, man. Kellen Moore called up another nice game of mix and run and pass, and so that's out of the gate good for the Cowboys. Again, I'm not getting ahead of myself here, but after two games, Cowboys fans, we got to be excited about what we're seeing, especially because the two wins are both division games, and next week we got the Dolphins coming up, followed by the Saints without Drew Brees possibly. So Cowboys look like we have a very promising start to the season here. So again, I'm not going to go overboard with it, but it felt pretty good as a Cowboys fan these past two Sundays. I just got to say that.
All right.
Hold on. Did I just hear that correctly? The Cowboys are playing the Dolphins next week. God, what? Who did it? Who did it?
Who books this?
Because the Dolphins are, golly. Let's see, 59-10, 43-0. And now they got to face the Cowboys and the way the Cowboys are moving that ball. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I will hype it up for you. Dak Prescott wants to get paid because he's playing otherworldly right now.
Yep,
he is. I'm just being honest. As much as I love the rag and talk trash about the Cowboys, man, Dak Prescott, he wants the bag. He said, "All right, I see what y'all been doing this offseason. Everybody else getting paid. Let me show you what I'm capable of." Because it's one of those things where we haven't even been talking about Zeke these past couple of games when it comes to the Cowboys. It's been Dak Prescott in the way he's been dropping dimes.
Yep, he's looked sharp.
He's looking. He's like, I need that
So
money.
I hope that the game, playing against the Dolphins this coming week is, it's almost like if you would schedule Charlotte to play a really good team in college football. That's
Wow.
it's kind of like that. It's kind of like
Wow.
having Charlotte on the schedule.
Are you kidding me? Right?
Wow.
Is that how you feel about my team? Let's see. What's the time? What's the time right now?
I'm sorry. I didn't realize Charlotte was playing Clemson this weekend. Is that what we're?
Yeah, of course you did. Lies.
I only hope that Clemson's able to pull that one out.
We're going to segue into that in a minute because I'm trying. I'm trying. Because I know, even though, because my cousin Lorenzo says I am incredibly biased when it comes to college football. And
Shout out to Lorenzo. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm trying, but you keep egging me on, and I know like all roads lead to Dabo, and
20 minutes in.
Let's finish professional football because we got one more game to talk about. But props to the Cowboys, and they're looking incredibly dangerous. We'll see how the rest of the year pans out.
Jerry better get ready to come up off that money because Dak is going to want it. And speaking of wanting it, Atlanta defeats the Philadelphia Eagles in a good Sunday night game.
Oh, my goodness. Another division rival. And that was one of those games where, like, I've got Falcons fans that I don't like. I got Eagles fans that I don't like, but they're family. They're both family. So I sort of still love them. Shout out to a couple people out there. JR, Smooth. Yeah, your team lost. Ha-ha. Shout out to Quincy, Shanari, my niece, Kiana, love you to death. Falcons fans can't stand you, but wow, that was an incredible game, back and forth at the end, and I enjoyed the show. Even though I hate both teams, I enjoyed the show.
Yeah, it was a pretty important win for Atlanta coming off of opening day loss to beat the Eagles, one of the NFC favorites at home like that in dramatic fashion. That was big for Atlanta. I know it's early in the season still, but these games count, man, and it's good for them to have that one in their pocket going forward for sure.
I think Carson Wentz got hurt during that game as well too, but he came back and finished.
He cleared concussion protocol.
That was a hard hitting game though, man. There was some sticking going on out there on Sunday night in that game, both ways.
So I think the Eagles were a little bit depleted on their wide receiver core because there was quite a few injuries, and the commentators made a mention that the guys in the tent were busy
earning that paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
Earning that paycheck. All right, so we go from the professional world to the college football world territory realm area. We go into the pigskin. Oklahoma defeats UCLA. They just stomped them. Alabama beats South Carolina 47-23. Homer moment. South Carolina they got the players, but they're just a few steps behind of really putting it all together. But I think when they put it together, watch out, Clemson. Central Florida, University of Central Florida defeats Stanford. Stanford, they're just falling apart at the seams this season, 45-27. And then Arizona State defeats Michigan State 10-7. Interesting thing there, Michigan State could have tied the game and taken it to overtime. They kicked the field goal, but wait a minute, not so fast. Too many men on the field. And so guess what? Michigan State had a chance to kick the field goal again, and you probably know what happened. I could have wrote this, and he shanks it, not even close. Nothing. In another game in the SEC, we got Florida making a comeback win against Kentucky, 21-29. Felipe Franks, he left the game. He's out with a leg injury, and it's so severe that he may be out for the rest of the season. And Kyle Trask, the backup quarterback, led the Gators comeback. And then we got Beli's very own Clemson Tigers on the road in the Carrier Dome with no East AC, defeating Syracuse 41-6. And Scotty D would like to talk about the Pittsburgh versus Penn State game.
Awful. It was awful. Pitt squandered an opportunity here. They had a chance to tie the game. They had 1st and goal from the 1-yard line, and they came away with 0 points. Now, this is with 4 minutes left in the game. They decided on 4th down to kick a field goal down a touchdown with 1 timeout, which got shanked off the upright, so they came away with 0 points. Oh, guys, I don't even know where to begin with this. I mean, it's like the Carolina situation where you have a chance from the 1-yard line to get in there. But if you need to score a touchdown to win the game, either way, you're going to have to get in the end zone, whether it's on that possession or the next one. So isn't it better to take your chance from 1 yard away than to try to get a stop, get the ball back, drive the field again, and then score? Pat Narduzzi, the head coach of the Pitt Panthers, he is severely under fire with Mike Tomlin and Clint Hurdle. There are no good coaches in Pittsburgh. Other than Mike Sullivan of the Penguins, there's no good coaches in there. And it's sad because this was the end of the Pitt-Penn State rivalry for the foreseeable future. They're not scheduled to play each other again. And I really hate that because when I was growing up, that was a big, big rivalry. They renewed it in 2016. And in 2016, 69,983 people showed up at Heinz Field. That was the biggest turnout ever for a sporting event in Pittsburgh. And now that game's off the schedule. Penn State has 3 non-conference games to schedule, and going forward, I think they've got Auburn, Virginia Tech, West Virginia on the schedule. So that was hurtful to see Pitt squander the opportunity to win the last game in that rivalry, and it sucks going forward that rivalry is going to not continue. But change needs to be made in Pittsburgh. The fans are clamoring for change at the head coaching position on the Pitt football team, the Steelers, and of course Clint Hurdle. So we need some help in Pittsburgh.
So it sounds like the only one safe is the coach of
Mike
the Penguins.
Sullivan,
Am I correct?
Head coach. He's safe for now, but we'll see.
I got a question. Was that the game? I just want to make sure because we're on football overload. Was that the game where it was Pat Narduzzi? He explained that they needed 2 possessions to win. That's why he elected to kick the field goal.
That's what he said.
As opposed to go. Wow. Fired.
I agree. Like I said, out of those 2 possessions, 2 field goals don't do you any good. You have to actually get in the end zone on one of the 2. So why
you're
not?
Right, you're right there knocking on the door. You got the play being way too careful.
Yeah.
So I need some ACC love. My God.
Here we go.
It's driving me insane right now.
Is this a continuation of last week's argument, which is very entertaining? If you missed last week's episode, please listen to the debate between Scotty D and B Live about the ACC and the SEC. It was great.
I need it in my life because I'm so sick and tired. Like I still don't understand it, for the love of God. Like, and this year more than anything, I would hate for anybody to even fathom the thought that Clemson's not the best team and program in college football right now. And it's even now after this week, I've heard a lot of fans, I'm talking Clemson fans right now. Let me talk Clemson fans. They're just clamoring because Trevor Lawrence has now thrown for 5 interceptions after 3 games when last year he only threw 4 interceptions the entire year. And I want everybody to understand this and to hear me clearly with this. I need about a minute and a half. Hear me clearly. For fans to be disappointed in a 41-6 victory and say things like our offense isn't clicking and it's not the same and they don't seem as explosive as they once were. We beat a Syracuse team that we lost to 2 years ago and barely scraped by last year. We may not be giving Syracuse enough credit, but granted, they got the crap beat out of them by Maryland. I hear you. But the fact of the matter that fans are disappointed in a 41-6 victory is mind-boggling. I think my Clemson Tigers look just as good as they did a year ago. I think that Trevor Lawrence you still have to pick your poison. He's just making one throw too many, but I still think the one thing that impresses me more than anything is Clemson's defense that nobody talks about. How many times do we have to stop somebody on the goal line? How many times have we've allowed 1 touchdown in 3 games, and that was a garbage touchdown with 6 seconds to go against Texas A&M. Don't want to talk about that,
bro. Your team is good; they're the best team in the country, but that conference sucks. I mean, come on.
Yeah, back at it again. Round 2, round 2.
No. This is not going to be a fight. This is not going to be an argument. Unfortunately, I have to agree with them.
Yeah, it's bad football being played right there.
It is not.
But that's not a
Georgia
knock on
Tech.
Clemson. I mean, that's the thing. You guys,
Georgia Tech. What are you doing?
Georgia Tech lost the Citadel.
It's the Citadel. I can't laugh because South Carolina lost them a few years ago.
I was waiting on you.
I cannot laugh.
I wasn't going to do it this time.
I'm not going to do it this time, let alone you.
Jesus, but I mean, just
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Kansas, the team that lost to Coastal Carolina a week ago, defeat Boston College this week?
Yes.
Yeah.
By almost 4 touchdowns.
What in the hell is going on?
What? Yeah. I'm put Coastal Carolina in the ACC right now. The way things are panning out, and then North Carolina. They lost the weight. Right now, the second best team in the ACC right now is Wake Forest.
Never would have suspected it.
Forest.
The Demon Deacons.
Which Wake Forest, actually, I give them credit. They won a non-conference game against the team in their conference. Now, you tell me the ACC's not completely mixed up right now when you get a non-conference win over a team in your conference. That's like winning a non-title matchup in the WWE.
So it's one of those things where the Wake Forest, North Carolina, that is a rivalry in itself, and I think that's what they were going for, is that because the conference schedule is mapped out before the non-conference
I
schedule.
understand why. I just find it humorous that you win a game in your conference and don't get credit for a conference win. I just find that funny. That's all.
Yeah, that's hella odd. Like it's a conference game, and we're what? Oh, okay.
See, I had to explain that 11 times because some people just didn't quite get it. But no, it is quite humorous.
Because usually, you know what they call that when you win a conference game and don't get credit for it. You know what they usually call that? Practice. That's usually what that is. It's a practice game.
That kind of reminds me of the days going back to my high school playing days when North Myrtle Beach and Myrtle Beach they played twice a season. The first was a we're in the same region, but the first game was a non-region game, and then towards the end of the season, we played them in a region game. What's the point? What? Stop! This stop! Cut it! Stop! What's the freaking point?
But man, yeah. So ACC football. I almost feel bad because I feel like because of Clemson's overwhelming success and across the board, especially with recruiting now, it's almost diluted the rest of the ACC.
Yeah, that's that is safe to say, because it comes to the point, like, so what college you want to go to in the ACC? Clemson. You don't want to go to North Carolina State? Nope. Miami? Nope. But it's nice in Miami. Don't care. Don't want to go there. Georgia Tech? Why and for what? Yeah. They don't want nothing to do. Yeah. Why and for what? We don't want nothing to do with that other than get an education. Yeah. But to play football? No.
Yeah. That's up to the other coaches to start recruiting. Say, hey, well, listen, we want to go beat these guys. So that's on the other coaches in that conference. Clemson can't make any apologies for going out there and getting talent and having guys that want to play for their coach. I mean, it's not their fault that the rest of the conference has fallen behind.
Hey, it's a classic case.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a classic case of, when you win, everybody want to be part of when you win, and when you're losing, don't nobody want nothing to do with it.
Real quick, and I appreciate Scotty D for saying that. But back to our little group chat. Who is we? What is this we?
Who is we?
All answers. Who is this we? Are we French now?
We are Clemson Tigers.
Oh man,
I had to say that. I was like,
yeah. I was working. You're not sure what's going on, but while the games are going on, I'll text B Live and say, "Boy, we look good today." Something to that effect.
Who is we?
Yeah.
I was at work dying when I saw that. All right, and that's the wrap up for the college football portion of the show. This is going completely off the rails.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
Thank you once again to the wonderful Miss Button to the intro to our favorite section of the show. You heard the woman, the choice of the voices. We like it. It's our favorite portion of the show. We love it. We get to hoot, holler, act a fool, cut a fool, pick at a few people, and just overall have fun. We just want to give a shout out to our listeners for coming through each and every week. The old listeners, the new listeners, the ones that's not so sure, but they wind up becoming listeners. We just want to say thank you from all of us here at the Sports Bros Podcast. And Scotty D, what is the question for the choices of the voices for this week?
The question we pose is, what player on your team, your favorite NFL team, past or present, did you dislike so much that you either wanted him gone or you were just happy to see him go? I mean, this didn't even necessarily mean performance based. It's somebody you just didn't like that's on your NFL team.
Yeah, kind of like, you look at the roster and go, why are you here? Do we really need you like that? All right, and then the leadoff spot, we got good old Uncle Max. Shout out to Uncle Max for coming through, listening to the podcast, giving us some insight, and just being Uncle Max. As a Green Bay Packers fan, he stated Tony Mandarich, yes, from the Green Bay Packers, a former second overall draft pick in the 1989 draft. He just had a bad attitude. He held out, and here's another known tidbit. When the Packers selected Tony Mandarich, on the board, they left Derek Thomas, Barry Sanders, and I think Deion Sanders, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. They left all that talent on the board to get an absolute bust in Tony Mandarich. And he was happy to see him gone. I would have been happy too.
Yeah, he was the number 2 pick in the draft in that year. I think it was 89, behind Troy Aikman. And he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I think it was like the Incredible Bulk or something. Man, he just looked like the biggest, baddest dude to ever come out of college. And it was all steroid based, but he had an okay career. I think he ended up with the Colts before he retired as an offensive lineman. But yeah, that didn't work out so well for Green Bay. He was really hyped as going to just come up to Green Bay and help be destructive, and didn't work out so well.
Yeah, if there's a trend. There's certain organizations they don't do too well with players that disrupt the flow in their organizations. Rightfully so. I mean, you're here to play football and not BS, and it's about us. It ain't about you. You are a part of us. So that being said, Jack Thompson, shout out to Jack Thompson. He said that he's glad that his Raiders got rid of, would have thunk it, Antonio Brown. He said it was only a matter of time before he ruined everything because Antonio Brown was all about me, and he needs to learn how to be a team player and play team ball.
I want to mention something real quick about that. Nobody talks about the fact that the Raiders gave up a 3rd and a 5th round pick for Antonio Brown for absolutely nothing.
For the free.
I mean,
Steelers got over on him on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Golly, just good job, Gruden. Good job. That was smart. That was wonderful.
How many years John Gruden has to go? Was it? He's in the 9th year of a $100 million contract or something like that?
No,
9 more years to go. Yeah,
9 more years. That's what I'm saying. This is in his second
year.
I'm sorry. Of 100 was a contract.
Yep.
10 years.
Yep, 10 years, $100 million. Yep.
I still don't understand that. He was a great commentator, NFL coach, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe. We'll see what he does in Las Vegas. I mean, he looked good. They won last week. This week they started out okay, and then Patrick Mahomes in the second quarter. That was ridiculous. Mm. Patrick Mahomes is ridiculous, but I digress.
Yep, I'll go ahead and say it. Mark it on the tape. Patrick Mahomes is the future of the league. Once Brady leaves, go ahead and give them keys to Patrick Mahomes. All right, terrible. Pete Talansky says, Odell Beckham Jr., he was with the Giants. He said he was nothing but a distraction, and he called him, quote, a large child. And he hopes he rots in Cleveland. Him and his $350,000 watch. What the hell?
Yeah. I mean, that's just typical Beckham diva behavior. I don't understand the watch thing, but moving right along.
Yeah, it's quite wild. Brittany Taylor says Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell. Even if it takes us a while to get a good season again for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Brittany Taylor. Oh.
Why does that name sound familiar?
Oh.
Ooh. Is that the Brittany Taylor? The Antonio Brown ex-girlfriend Brittany Taylor?
Because it's the. Say it one time, be like.
The Brittany Taylor. Ma'am, was same? That can't be the same person.
No, actually, this
Brittany
Taylor is a friend of mine. I love this Brittany Taylor, but she's a diehard Steeler fan, and she kind of echoes the sentiments of most Steeler fans. They were not disappointed to see Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell move on. Yeah,
as my as my good friend Danny Wilson would say, get rid of the punk asses, both of them. And I was like, hey, asking ye shall receive because they gone. They ain't here no more. Trey Duke, he gave me a real excited one. I had a pleasure reading it. He said, former Cowboys quarterback Quincy Carter. Quincy Carter, and he listed a multitude of things that Quincy Carter done. Everything from being a bad quarterback to his comprehension skills, not learning how to read, smoking crack rocks, you name it. He just had an overall problem with Quincy Carter.
I was tickled. It was Trey Dizzle. Man,
as a Cowboy fan, I can tell you the Quincy Carter era was not the glory years. Those were not great times.
Dark period, but he did under the tutelage of Bill Parcells, might I say. He did get you guys in the playoffs, right?
Yep, where we lost to the Carolina Panthers.
Wow. Ooh, Quincy Carter. Never forget Quincy, poor Quincy Carter. And that's when they because then you said that's when they got, as soon as they got rid of him, they put in Vinny Testaverde, and then
Yeah. So the following year, I'm quite sure it was the following year. Quincy Carter, coming back for his second year under Parcells, gets cut during training camp, and Parcells said, "I can't count on him." And I think we went with Vinny Testaverde as a quarterback that year. Went 6-10. It was miserable, but Quincy went to the Jets. They managed to get to the wild card game, and then and I don't remember all the circumstances around it, but for whatever reason, he didn't play in that game. He couldn't, and as Parcells says, he couldn't count on him. Quincy Carter wasn't injured. He just had some personal things going on, I think. And that memory is a little bit cloudy, but it was something to that extent where Bill Parcells ended up being right that you couldn't count on Quincy Carter, and they moved on from him. So, yeah, I was. That's a good call by Trey.
Yep, the big tuna was right. Martin Tracy, this is an interesting one. He helped you win, but you was like, you know what, get him out of here. He said Kurt Schilling, bloody sock and all. He said, I don't even care that he did break the curse of the Bambino. He got to go. Good old Kurt Schilling.
Yeah,
controversial.
That's not an NFL pick, but okay.
Yeah, but I was like, okay, he all right. If he just had to go, he had to go, I guess.
Yeah.
Speaking of a not NFL pick, Tim, you knew this was going to happen, and get ready for it. You said Stephen Garcia, former quarterback of my beloved University of South Carolina Gamecocks. Oh, what an exciting time. He said Stephen Garcia, he came in a highly touted prospect quarterback, but he stayed in trouble between fighting, drinking liquor, vandalizing, and just being a rowdy college student.
So, I mean, Stephen Garcia, some people just don't follow directions.
No.
And I mean, I didn't even know Matty Ice did the same thing. Just we said NFL, but it's okay. I mean, it's all right. You found your way on the program, and this is where we, as the SportsBros Podcast co-hosts, we get to talk a little trash about
Give you the smoke. You get the smoke. Finna get the smoke.
Listen, before you smoke these guys, let me just tell you, I appreciate the feedback and the answers, because actually he did preface it by saying, I know this isn't an NFL one. If that was what's on his heart and on his mind, and we'll allow it, man. We just like getting the feedback from listeners.
There you go.
All right, I do. I appreciate all of
Who is we?
No, Tim is good people. Me and him worked together a few years back with fellow managers at Applebee's and everything, and he's doing this thing. If I'm not mistaken, he's got a couple of sandwich shop franchises in the Triangle area, and I got to check him out. But yeah, he is an avid Gamecock fan, and we would have our banter going back and forth because, me and I everybody gets smoke. I don't care. I'm at work. Somebody comes in with the Gamecock attire. I tell them they got to get out. They're not getting any service because I have to do it.
By law.
But I have to do it. But no, I appreciate the answer, Tim. And I get it. I get it because he was a troublemaker, but as all troublemakers are, wasn't he at the Alabama game? Wasn't he supposed to be the savior that was going to get South Carolina to beat Alabama again since they did it back in 2010?
He should have stayed his ass home. That's all I got to say. He should have stayed home.
That didn't work out. But I will say this. Side note, Ryan Olinsky, he's not too bad. He's not too bad. I mean, true freshman, stepped into the role. He's all right. Yeah. The Gamecocks might be headed in the right direction to mediocrity. So,
wow, that was a dig there, Eddie. Cool.
Yeah, I felt that right in my shoulder. That's why I'm just over here trying to just try to hold my composure as a host to a podcast that hadn't won a damn award yet, but I digress. Yeah, man, Helinski looks good, man, even though that showing against Charleston Southern was, Charleston Southern, but it was a good showing. But I think the program will be in great hands with Helinski there. I think he's got to finish getting those Steve Spurrier recruits in there, and then Will Muschamp can get what he wants to in there, and he can run it the way he wants it. It's kind of similar how to when Lou Holtz left and Steve Spurrier came, we had to go ahead and get those Holtz recruits out of there, and before that, the Brad Scott recruits, he had to just getting all that out of there, and then getting your guys in there. Your guys that works your system and who you feel is best suited to play the style that you coach. All right, do we have any more in the choices of the voices section? Because I'm known to miss one or two from the looks of it. In the words of Coach Hunt, that's about it. We ain't got no more. Mm-hmm. All right, so shout out to Uncle Max, Jack Thompson, terrible Pete Talansky, Brittany Taylor, not the Brittany Taylor, Trey Duke, Martin Tracy, and Tim Galloway for showing up in the choices of the voices. All right, fellas, who you got? Scotty D, I'll start with you first.
As a Dallas Cowboy fan, this one was kind of easy for me. Terrell Owens. There was no question. I never liked him. He came to the Cowboys, and for a couple years, I had to root for this guy. I even bought a T.O. crying towel or whatever it was he was selling at the time, a T.O. towel.
That's my quarterback, man.
Yeah, that's my quarterback. they had T.O. towels, and I put popcorn out for it overtime, and but it was always the whole time he was there. It was always about him. Like, you don't get him the ball, even if you win, he's unhappy. He was such a me guy, and it runs all the way now to the fact that the dude didn't even show up to Canton for his own Hall of Fame ceremony. Terrell Owens, don't like him. Didn't like him pre-Cowboy. Didn't like him while he was a Cowboy, and I don't like him now. So there you go. Terrell Owens is my pick. Be Live?
I'm actually going to defer to Eddie Cool because I have a couple answers, but I want to see what his answer is, and that will base what my answer will be because we're both Panthers fans. So I want to see Eddie Cool. Who's the player you dislike the most that the Panthers dealt with?
I don't want to say dislike, but I had some time to really sit back and think about it because I'm like, you know what? Who in the 25-year history of the Carolina Panthers organization, I'm trying to figure out. We've had some good ones, we've had some bad ones, and then we have some that have been straight up.
All right, we get it.
Oh,
all right. The farts today.
Okay, all right, so. For some strange reason, we can draft pretty good at all the positions on our team. But it's something about that damn wide receiver position is cursed. Unless your name is Steve Smith Sr. or Muhsin Muhammad. You're good. But I got quite a few of them. I got three of them.
You can't say three because you're gonna end up taking away one of mine.
Okay,
but go ahead.
Okay, well,
so we got the same team.
I know, but one I'll breeze by because you probably don't remember them, and the other two you're gonna be like, okay, now I get it. All right, number one on this list, okay, Dwayne Jarrett. He was a highly touted wide receiver coming out of Southern California. He was a big prototypical wide receiver, big body, somebody that DeLone could throw to. He was supposed to be good. But guess what happened to him? Nothing. He flamed out as well, too. We had to 8-6 his ass. Then, number two is a guy by the name of Drew Carter. Another one of those tall California wide receivers. And guess what? He didn't amount to nothing either. Had to 8-6 his ass out of here, too. And last but not least, Ray Caruth. Okay.
I knew Ray somebody Caruth had to get with him.
Yes. And that's why I deferred to you because I knew I didn't want to step on toes because I think me and you both agreed with Ray.
Little Ray. You don't get away. You hide in the damn trunk and go to Tennessee. Yeah, Steve Harvey had a spot on right with you, Ray Caruth. You had to get the hell up out of here. I wish you well in your future endeavors, and I'm not laughing at the result of the situation, what happened between his baby mother and his son, because his son suffered from it, and Sharika Adams is no longer here with us. But Ray, fake. Like you're pretty good coming out of college. I'll admit that. You about to get a contract. So even if you and this girl didn't get along, you will still be able to pay child support. Only thing you had to do at your end was just stay in shape, stay out of trouble, and play football. Maybe Carolina would have gave you some more money. Maybe Ray Caruth would have been the best thing that ever happened to Carolina, but we'll never know because he made dumb decisions. And that's all I got to say about that. Be live. Who you got?
Gotcha. Well, Ray Caruth was definitely on my radar. Like I definitely I'm gonna pull the trigger anyway, because he was first round draft pick number 27 in the 1997 draft. And I just learned by the Wikipedia and Google machine that that wasn't actually his name. He was born Ray Lamar Wiggins, but he goes by the name Ray Theodis Caruth. Theodis.
I say Theodis.
So that was just complete waste. But I had a quarterback in mind.
Which one?
Yeah, but this one that just really stuck out to me was good old Chris Lincoln. Why?
Legend.
He was 40 by the time he got there.
Right.
Exactly.
But just like he was a baseball player. Like it's one of those things where I didn't understand. Like I get it. He was a good, great college player, but it just I don't know. It was just when you make an investment into a player, especially in football, you don't pick up a 30-year-old player. It's like in his first year. You're only going to get only a couple serviceable years out of them. I get it. They draft them in the 4th round, but I didn't understand it. It was, another failed prospect out of Florida State. What was the other guy? Kelvin Benjamin.
Yeah, another flop. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, just a waste of just good space.
Yep.
So I just throw those out there because it's just. But yeah, Ray Caruth was definitely easily number one. Like why? But only good thing that came out of Ray Caruth was the fact that he was the punchline for the original Kings of Comedy.
Yeah.
That's my
because remember they had the show in Charlotte, and he's like y'all had shut up, y'all had a team for 30 years.
All the news about your football team ain't been good.
Yeah, ain't been good news. I was like, oh boy. And I'm sitting at my mom's house like, oh, this is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt. Speaking of older quarterbacks, it's kind of the whole Chris Winkie situation reminds me of Brandon Whedon. Yeah, pretty good in college, and what happened in the league? Yeah,
was it Brandon Whedon? Was that Oklahoma State?
Yep, Oklahoma State. I think
another guy I couldn't wait to get off the Cowboys roster.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he did play for your Cowboys. He did exactly that. Play for your Cowboys. Yeah. Or as one of my friends, the late great Dr. Locke, who helped me have an opportunity in internet sports radio and podcasts and everything. God bless his soul. He was called Brandon Whedon, the Weed Man.
The Weed
Brandon Whedon, the Weed
Man.
All right, Scotty D. What is the question for next week's edition of Choices of the Voices?
You guys are college football fans, so you're going to like this one.
Ooh.
And I know Uncle Max will probably love this one. What are your favorite and least favorite college football traditions. Pretty simple question, but all college football teams have traditions that they like getting into, and some of them are better than others. So interesting to hear what you guys think on that one. Favorite and least favorite college football traditions. Give us both.
Oh, this is gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be funny. I can tell right now with that one, you may strike some nerves with that one, and some heated debates might be going on, and somebody might have to slip on the referee shirt to our Facebook like page. Yeah, that's right. Go ahead and check out our Facebook like page at the SportsBros Podcast and like us. B-Live's recent post generated over 22,000 views and interactions.
Awesome,
man. I still can't believe it. Like it like did we go viral?
Yeah,
but no, I want to just get and lead to that. I really do appreciate the Clemson Tire fandom out there, man. Like it was just, and basically all it was just pictures of the Clemson players that represented that were playing on Monday night with a doubleheader last week. I mean, and it took off, and like a lot of shares, a lot of comments, and everything like that. So I mean, it's just a representation of what we're trying to do here at the SportsBros Podcast. We're growing every single day, and at the end of the day, we want to be that podcast, that group of guys that's for the fans.
Yeah.
We're not trying to be some nationally syndicated with this whole script and by the book like everybody else does. No, we're just three old farts. Well, one old fart, two up and coming, and then shout out to Uncle Max, because I don't even know if you call him a fart anymore. That's a dust of smoke.
I was just about to say a dust.
Anybody else that I'm friends with you want to insult this week? You know, you got my boss, Uncle Max.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I don't know if we'll call him a Oh, as you can see at the SportsBros Podcast, we poke fun. Please don't be sensitive. It's all, it's like this. If we didn't like you, we wouldn't pick at you. We probably wouldn't say nothing to you at all, right?
Right.
That's how that is with that. Oh, man.
Scott's over here like, anybody else you want him?
Yeah.
Scott's
glad I didn't talk about my parents in this podcast.
All right, I'm getting a go-home cue. And you know what that means, don't you? It's time for a round of pepper. You know how we do it. 3 topics, rapid-fire style. We throw the ball around and try not to hit each other in the head, and be like that one baseball player that got hit in the face the other night for the Brees, right, B-Li? Didn't he get hit in the face? Yeah, we don't want to.
And was called out, too.
Yeah, we don't want to be that guy. We don't want to be that guy. So I'll start first. And my first pepper point goes out to Tennessee Titans offensive lineman David Quisenberry. Why is it going out? I'll tell you why it's going to him. It's because he scored a touchdown. He's an offensive lineman, scoring a big boy touchdown. They don't score touchdowns like that. Why this is so cool to me? Because he battled Hodgkin's T lymphoblastic lymphoma for 3 years, and he is cancer-free. So that touchdown means everything. So shout out to David Quisenberry of the Tennessee Titans. Over to you, Scotty D.
Yeah, I like that. That was nice to see that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this is something I'm sure everyone has seen by now, but last week outside of AT&T Stadium, DeMarcus Lawrence of the Cowboys shunned a young autograph seeker wearing a Giants jersey by basically telling the kid, go get another jersey, kid, something to that effect.
You got the wrong jersey on, kid.
Yeah, he followed that up on Twitter with sorry, not sorry, although he later did apologize, and he explained, you know, you don't always get what you want in life and blah, blah, blah. You know, it's his right to not sign autographs for anybody, and it's his right to refuse a little kid and teach him a lesson. But come on, D-Law, sign for the little dude, man. I mean, it's just an autograph. You don't have to teach him a life lesson. I was a little disappointed in that. But on the upside, on Tuesday, DeMarcus Lawrence donated 100 backpacks full of school supplies to school kids. So he's not heartless, but just wasn't super crazy about that situation there. So
I mean, that's division rival. So I mean, that's a little sensitive.
Get it,
so
I
get it.
He's still a kid. So sign for the little dude. I mean, it is what it is.
It's like, I'd understand that if it was a grown man wearing a Giants shirt just seeking an autograph. But I mean, it's a kid.
I mean, it was kind of funny, but it just kind of wasn't. He just should have signed for the kid. That's all.
It's one of those things where that kid is now going to end up like Scott Donnelly.
Oh, wow.
He's going to
end up as a Cowboy fan?
No, he's the other way around. He's going to hate everybody else. It's just going to be, I don't know. Just a grumpy old man.
Wow.
But let me throw a pepper point in here real quick. Shout out to my Bravos, the Atlanta Braves, clinching the playoffs, doing what it do, lighting the world on fire. They're only 4 games back of the Dodgers. They slowed down just a slight bit with the loss yesterday. But they have been doing what it do. Freaking Acuna, Donaldson, Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman's my favorite player in baseball right now, by the way. And I see them fulfilling, making it to the World Series this year. I think they're going to beat the Dodgers. I think it's going to happen. It's a beautiful thing. And Eddie Cool, here's the ball back. Here's that baseball for you. There we go.
Yeah, because the Dodgers with all that talent, man, they just that Clayton Kershaw boy, he gets in the playoffs and drink the choke classic. All right, and on another note, we have the University of Georgia school class organization. I'm going to tell you why. This past weekend, the Bulldogs hosted the Arkansas State Red Wolves, and they did something special for the rival team. What did they do, you ask? I'll tell you what they do. Arkansas State coach Blake Anderson recently lost his wife back in August to breast cancer after a long fight of breast cancer. And so what the University of Georgia decided to do to honor the late Wendy Anderson, they decided to hold a pink out where the whole stadium was draped in pink. I'm not going to lie. I damn near shed a tear because, as some of you know, or some of you may know, I lost my father to prostate cancer, and I lost my mother back in December to to colon cancer. Yes, I lost my mother to colon cancer. So whenever people pass away of cancer, it kind of hits close to home because I see the struggle and I know what it's all about. So shout out to the University of Georgia Bulldogs for being a class organization and paying their respects to the late Wendy Anderson. Over to you, Scotty D.
Well said, man. F cancer, dude. Seriously.
Yeah, man.
I hate that.
Big old middle finger.
Yep, big old middle finger to cancer. All right, this past Saturday night, it was yet another fight night for me. I love sitting home on Saturday nights and watching the fights. We had UFC on. Cowboy Cerrone got a butt whooping by Justin Gaethje, who's now probably going to fight the winner of Khabib and Tony Ferguson. And it's nice to see heavyweight boxing be relevant again. So Tyson Fury got into the ring this past week. He fought a guy named Otto Wallen, and he faced adversity, man. He was a heavy favorite, but took a nasty cut in the 3rd round. Man, this thing was a gaping cut. He took a left shot over his right eye, and he was effective for a few rounds, and then around round 6 or 7, man, he just started going for it. He just started emptying the tank. And man, I love to see that. I hate when I watch a fight and a guy just doesn't press the action or try to win the fight. They just try to get by in a decision. Tyson Fury went all in for it. He got the win that he should have gotten, and now it even excites me more to see him fight Deontay Wilder, hopefully early next year. So, nice night at the fights there, boys. Over to you, B Live.
Man, oh man, I can't wait for that fight, by the way. Cannot wait. So, the Chicago Bears. The Bears. Their kicking woes may be over. Man, when I tell you this guy by the name of Eddie Pinheiro kicking a 53-yard field goal as the clock hit 0-0 to win against the Denver Broncos. My boss man, good friend of mine, he is a diehard Bears fan, and I've seen the pain in his eyes when it comes to the Bears and their kicking game. But to see that field goal, for them to be able to come back when they almost gave up the game because Denver scored a tying touchdown. It wasn't a tying touchdown. They were down by 1 to kick the extra point. Chicago was trying to block the kick. The Denver kicker shanked the extra point, but the Chicago player jumped offside. So instead of kicking it 5 yards closer, they opt to go for 2 at the 1 yard line and get the 2-point conversion. Denver goes up by 1 point. Chicago, with I want to say it was like, can't remember exactly how much time, but it was like, I want to say like 40 seconds, something like that to go. Drives it down the field, 53-yard field goal. As a Bears fan, you've got to be sick to your stomach. But old Eddie Pinheiro comes through, and that was his second field goal of over 50 yards. Chicago Bears fans, you can rejoice. You finally have a kicker. Sayonara, Cody Parkey. Sorry for you. Eddie Cool finishes off. One more time. One more round.
Third and final pepper point. We're going to take it back to the great state of South Carolina, the home state. And I want to give a shout out to the Green Sea Floyd's Trojans. The Trojans of Green Sea Floyd's, the reigning, defending Class Single A state champions as they defeat the crosstown rival, down the street rival. I'm joking. As they defeat the rival Loris Lions, a Class 3A school, in the first ever Bog Off Bowl. Now I'm gonna give you a quick little backstory about the Loris Bog Off. It's about a chicken dish and chicken bog in the great state of South Carolina. It's very good. I made a pot last week. So they have this big old festival around that weekend, just food, folks, and fun. I know it sounds like an old slogan I bought from McDonald's, but that's really what it is. It's food, folks, and fun, and everybody in the small community having a good time. So this gives a chance for 2 small communities of Green Sea Floyd's and Loris, who are separated by 2 minutes, literally and figuratively, to come together and participate in the first ever Loris and for the first ever Bog Off Bowl. I don't understand why this wasn't done years ago, but shout out to the people that organized it and got it together. And you know what? Gives you a reason to look forward to, gives you something to do Friday night as a part of the Loris Bog Off festivities.
I'm apologize ahead of time. If there was a little bit of disturbance, it was probably because I might have drooled on my mic. Oh, because I miss Chicken Bog so bad. If you've never had Chicken Bog, you are missing out in life. It's a traditional Southern dish, and it's I want Chicken Bog. Somebody make Chicken Bog for me. I've never made it before. You know what? I'm gonna get home one day and I'm gonna have my dad make it. My dad makes a killer chicken bog. It's got to happen. No, I'm sorry. Because Scotty D, hit your pepper point. I just want I want to sprinkle some pepper on my chicken bog. All right, my bad.
Wipe your mouth.
Yeah.
All right, my final pepper point is about Adam Vinatieri. And as of this recording, I'm not really sure how this is going to go with Vinatieri, but he's 1 out of 3 this season on extra points. Yeah, and it's killing him because this is a guy who is arguably the best kicker ever. He's 46 years old. He's still up and through last season was still a really, really good kicker, and he's struggling early. I don't know if he's going to call it quits or how this is going to end up, but this is a guy who won 3 Super Bowls with the Patriots and made a fourth quarter kick, game-winning field goals in all those games. And he kicked what I consider the best kick in NFL history in 2001 playoff game against the Raiders. He kicked a 45-yarder in the snow, and he's just been a class act all the way around. So if that's it for Adam Vinatieri, then farewell, my friend. But it's been a great career for Adam Vinatieri, and I hate to see him go down like this. But over to you, B-Live.
Not a friend of mine. Still hate him. Don't like him at all. Sorry. 2003 Super Bowl. Yeah, Adam freaking Vinatieri. You know, it's like I honestly to this day can't just say Adam Vinatieri. It has to be Adam freaking Vinatieri. It's Adam freaking Vinatieri. I'm just letting you know that. but yeah, sure. He Hall of Famer. Definitely Hall of Famer.
First ballot, no doubt.
Yeah. I'll give him that. All right, let me finish. All right, Oklahoma Sooners. Can't even talk today. I'm still thinking about Chicken Bog. Oklahoma Sooners. It's going to happen. 3 years in a row, Heisman winner. Jalen Hurts. I don't know what it is about their offensive scheme, that program. Maybe it's because it's the Big 12 and they don't play any defense.
Zero.
But their quarterbacks just run the show. And Jalen Hurts is looking absolutely phenomenal. It's ridiculous. Like I'm pretty sure at this point in time, he's averaging 350 yards passing and 100+ yards rushing. I'm pretty sure he's averaging that at this point. Every time he touches the ball, it's gold at Oklahoma. So I'm calling it right now. 3 years in a row, 3 different quarterbacks, 3 Heisman Trophy winners.
Has it ever been done?
I don't think it's been done with 2 quarterbacks, let alone. I mean, I think Archie Griffin won it 2 years in a row, but I don't think 2 different quarterbacks at the same program as won the Heisman.
Well, wait a minute. Yeah, because Baker won it, and didn't Kyler win it last year?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so that I don't think that's ever happened before. And now you're adding a 3rd quarterback. He's got to be a favorite. He has to be the favorite. So I'm calling it right now. Jalen Hurts for Heisman. There you go, Uncle Max.
Oh boy. I think you sure? I think it's gonna be down to him and Trevor Lawrence, but we shall see.
No. I'm sorry. Trevor Lawrence right now has 5 TD, 5 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. It's not going to happen. Here's the thing: when it comes to Heisman, they really look at they look at those glory stats, and Clemson just does not have the build to have a Heisman winner. We have the build for a national championship winner, and I will take national championships every day of the week, twice on Sunday. For Clemson, I will just take the fact that the Heisman Trophy is named after a Clemson coach. Just throwing a nice little nugget in there for you. John Heisman was the coach at Clemson. I think it was 1900 to 1903 or 1902, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he was the coach at Clemson. But yeah, we have too many weapons. We spread the ball out too much for one player to shine like that.
I think Dabo is going to win the Heisman. He's going to be the first coach to ever win the Heisman Trophy. It's going to be Dabo.
See what my guts brought me, and I got him.
You know what? That would be freaking phenomenal. I would
don't count him out.
If that was Dabo for Heisman. Hashtag all roads lead to Dabo.
Oh man,
let's finish this show off.
All right, man. Well, that was ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats, puppy, dogs, and Pikachus. That was another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast in the books. 27 of them things, as I stated earlier. But before we go, you want to know how to contact us? First of all, Scott, how can they contact you? How can they reach you?
Find me on Facebook, Scott Donnelly, and check me out at Beast Ninja, hang with Ryan and Katie Small, my bosses.
Yep, shout out to the Beast Ninja bosses and the Money Man, Scotty D. All right, Be Live, where can they find you?
And quick shout out to Ryan and Katie. Love you, freaking. I'm definitely going to check you guys out next time I'm in town. And please don't mind my banter. It's just who I am. Once you meet me, you'll understand, because I have all the smoke. Yep. But you can find me, the almighty Be Live. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. Twitter and Instagram is This Be Your Boy, Be Live, no I at the beginning. So THSBEYABOYBLIV to the E. You can find us, the Sports Bros Podcast, on Instagram and Twitter. On Instagram, it's at the Sports Bros Podcast. On Twitter, it's Sports Bros PCast. You can also contact us with our Gmail account, sportsbrospcast@gmail.com, with any questions or anything like that. You can find us on Facebook, our Facebook like page at Sports Bros Podcast. We are growing strong. This past week, I believe we gained around 70 new likes in just the past week. So I'm so excited about that, and we do this for you. So we appreciate all the love and everything and whatnot. Check us out on YouTube. I know I've been working on entirely too much, but I need to catch up with our YouTube page, with our videos. On Wednesdays, I keep coming with it with What Happened Wednesdays. You got to have the pause every time. And anything you see in the sports world that has you scratching your head, please hit them with the hashtag What Happened. That's WUHHAPND nominee. What Happened nominee. Hit me with that hashtag. Let me know what has you scratching your head. Eddie Cool, take us on, baby.
Well, you can reach me right around the corner. No, I'm joking. Well, you can reach me on the Sports Bros Podcast Facebook like page. Also on Instagram, Cool Season, all one word. Snapchat, Super Cool 5000. That's if you're into that kind of thing. Where else can you reach me? We got the WordPress working going on as well, too. Sports Bros Podcast. The Sports Bros Podcast, Twitter, Sports Bros PCast. And is there anyone else that can reach me? That's about it. You can reach me here. In your earbuds, your speakers, or your car, whatever have you. I'll be there. Well, with that being said, this is another edition. Before I go, fellas, I think our Sports Bros Podcast fantasy football team in the league with Sean McKenna and the great folks at Sound Up Now, I think we're doing pretty good. I think we have a good chance to win the league. We're doing pretty good.
As you say that, as we just lost this past week.
What?
We lost by 3.4 points. And I'm gonna go ahead and make this note. Austin Hooper for Atlanta, you failed.
But we still look good.
Yeah. No. Oh yeah. We got a squad.
Yeah, we got a squad.
We definitely got a squad. I mean, but yeah, definitely shout out to Sean, Sound Up Now, and that and even our own fantasy football league. This quick little update. I'm struggling. Oh yeah, the Sports Bros Fantasy Football League, the SBFF. Our overall leader for right now, we still got a Monday night game coming up, is Bruce Wilkinson. He's our overall leader right now, but it'll be short-lived because I'm going to win this week, and I'm going to beat Sean, and I'm going to be the champion all over again. And Eddie Cool still won't have a belt ever. Oh, I'm sorry. He did something. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm gonna sign out. I'm good. I'm good.
Scotty D, how's your team looking?
We are creeping up on you, Eddie Cool.
Yeah, it's gonna
come down to Monday Night Football. I think Odell Beckham coming for you, Eddie Cool.
Yep, I got to solve this Joe Mixon problem. It's a problem. I thought it would be a blessing, but it's turned out to be a curse. Should have picked Zeke, but it is what it is. Hey, I've done better with worse. Thank you for joining us for another edition of the Sports Bros Podcast. And in closing, do something nice for yourself. And if you can, do something nice for someone else. They'll greatly appreciate it. This is the Sports Bros Podcast.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye.